Okay, at this point we are going to look at a couple of other methods for making the ridge watertight before applying our ridge caps. Both involve the use of coil stock. The first is a single piece of coil stock, and what I've done at this point is I've measured the distance from one top lock to the other top lock. And in order to do a one piece, the courses need to be pretty well parallel, uniform as to their distance from the ridge. And this may only work for relatively short runs or using short pieces and then lapping them as you go down the ridge. But here I've got 11¼ inches. So what I did was I made this covering 12 inches wide, and I've got 1/2 inch underturned hems on both sides. The extra 3/4 inch or so allow me to be able to push this down, and it's going to snap back into place. I do want to overbend it a little so that it has some spring so it hooks back into place. Once I put the ridge caps on and nail down through the tabs in the ridge caps, this cap is not going to go anywhere. So you can see all I have to do is push down and it's going to snap over. I can bring it back into place, and then I can simply take my ridge caps, put the first one under the gable edge trim, and I'll not nail it at this point, but that's the effect. And really, I think it can be a rather aesthetically pleasing treatment, even if you have, you know, 1 inch or 2 inches hanging out on either side of the cap, because it's going to coordinate with all your lineal trims. A third method that you may well use more frequently is going to employ a 2-piece system of coil stock. You can see here I've taken about 8 inches of coil, because it's about 5½ inches up to the ridge. And again, I've done a 1/2 inch underturn hem. I've determined where the peak of my ridge is and made a bend at that point. Then I'm going to put my first piece on, slide it all the way back into place. This is probably the very minimum you would want to lap over, and the second lap is even more important, that you have that at perhaps 2 or 3 inches. Again, you don't need a lot of nails here, because the nails through the ridge caps are really going to hold this down. Want to make sure that I've got this centered on the coil stock for a good aesthetic appeal.